Hey, good day, good day, good day, good day. It's Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. How's everybody doing today? Hey, thank you for joining Lifestyle Focused Wealth. Today, we're going to be talking about why life insurance experts look at things the way they do and how they build generational power that most people never see. And most people never see this or learn this because life insurance experts, they use different situations. They use different tools. And let's talk about it. Not because they're secret, but because most people aren't taught to look at the products. They're most taught to look at the products instead of the strategy. And today I'm going to be talking to you about how experts build generational power using tools that most families already have, but never knew how to use it the right way. I'm Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. Join me on the inside. I'll see you there. Good day, good day, good day. Welcome back. I'm Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. Thank you guys for joining us. Today, we're going to be talking about topics such as experts, life insurance experts that build generational power that most people never see. And why is that? As I said in the opening statements earlier, that most people never learn what wealth strategists and life insurance experts use because they're not secret. But the truth is, most people aren't taught to look at the things that the experts are taught to look at. Would you agree with me on that? They're taught to look at the product, not the strategy. So today we're going to focus on that. We're going to talk about how experts that use these generational power tools, I like to call them, that most families already have, but they're probably just not using it the right way, or they never used it the right way. And we're going to see if we can get that in alignment. This is what really, truly matters, is the fact that I want to just say this. I want to say this. People aren't struggling out here. It's not because they're not motivated or they're not paying attention to what's going on. They're struggling because they're trying to build wealth without a strategy. And we want to help to curve that a little bit. We want to give you a system. We want to help you have a system, because if you're building wealth without a strategy and without a system, I can tell you now, you're probably getting lost in the sauce, right? So we don't want you to be lost in the sauce. Life insurance experts, they don't think in terms of policies. They think in terms of purpose. They think in terms of positioning. They think in terms of power. And once you understand these systems behind the tools, everything changes for you. Everything changes. It's not the product. You know, you see all these commercials and these TikTok videos, and there's no kick to anybody that we're talking about. It's not just the product. You can't buy the product and the product just immediately take care of all your problems. Have you ever bought a product? Do you own a product? Have you canceled a product that you bought and you had the idea that it was going to do something that it just didn't do, and you felt that maybe the salesperson oversold you? Yeah, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. You probably bought the product, but you didn't buy the strategy. And those two things are totally separate. Today, we're going to talk about what strategists look at, right? When you go and you look at the strategies, and we're going to point out 5 pain points that I know that you're going to be able to understand and comprehend. And we're going to jump right on into it. So, hey, one real quick before I jump in, welcome back. Welcome back. This is When the Lights Go Out. Are you ready? Today is Lifestyle Focus Friday, and we are going to be talking about these topics today. So thank you for joining us in the studio. But before I jump right in, I just want to encourage you guys always, as always, to remember to chime in. I want you guys to chime in. And I see we got more and more people today. So don't forget to go ahead and like us, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that notification bell because we want to be able to give you the new content and give you the more information that you need, right? So let's jump right in. If you're ready to jump right in, thank you again for joining us. And then I'll come back to you. And then if I get a chance, I'll read some of your stuff online today. Is that all right with everybody? Oh, yeah. Don't forget, when you get to the end of this, don't forget to register for our bi-weekly email. Get on the email list so you can be invited to all the things that we do. So you can be invited to all the masterminds, the coaching, all the other things that we do. And you get these wonderful, wonderful emails. Talks about travel, talks about food and recipes. It's all free. So we want to make sure you get that. All right. But let's dive right on in today. Let's get on into it. So our number one pain point of the day is people don't understand how money really flows. Right? People don't understand how money really flows. And I want to share some stories with you, if you will. I had a gentleman once tell me, he said, I make good money, but I never know where it goes. Just last night, we were just talking about it. He said, I make good money, but I just don't know where it goes. He wasn't irresponsible. Not at all. Actually, he was a very responsible business owner. He simply didn't understand how the money flows. Two different terminologies and things that we get lost in the sauce. So what if your money became predictable? What if your money became visual? What if your money became easy to control every single month? Ask yourself that question. What absolutely is the best thing that comes from that? Well, here's an opportunity for you, and I'm going to create the pathway. If you use your cash flow mapping system that we've talked about, and you were to take this idea and you use this mapping system to turn your confusion about money into clarity, our mapping system shows you where your money goes, where it leaks, and where you can grow. This is the first step towards having financial confidence. And confidence goes a long way here. There are many times when we're in our one-on-one conversations and we're talking behind the scenes, it's not because people don't understand that they need to do something. They just don't have the confidence because maybe you're just beginning, or maybe you don't find yourself so sophisticated with money. But the truth is, the more you understand, and the better you understand the strategies and you have clarity about where you're going, the more confident you will be in the decision-making process. And in that part, we grow. We grow tremendously. So pain point number 2 is very simple. It's very simple to me. People buy insurance without knowing its strategic purpose. A lot of times the advisors that you deal with or the salespersons that you're dealing with, they're not strategists. They're just salespeople. They're agents. And that's no knock to them either. They got to do the job. But if you're buying a product and you don't have a strategy, you know as well as I do that maybe it may not work out for you. It might not do what it's intended to do for you. All right? This financial tool that we're talking about, especially in the insurance practice, does a lot more than just pay a death claim. There's a lot more that you can do with it while you're living. So I remember having a family that told me this. They said, we bought life insurance because someone told us to. But we don't see how it helps. Well, that might be a wrong reason to buy this policy. Why you're buying this insurance? I saw this insurance bill as a bill. I see it as a bill, but most experts, they see it as a strategic asset. So what if, stick with me here. What if every policy you own had a very clear purpose, a defined job, a measurable benefit that you understood about, and you bought it for that very specific reason? Not one size fits all, just very specific reasons, right? So Apply the purpose-driven protection to assign each policy a role. That's what we need to do. If it's income protection, you got a role. Legacy creation, that's a role. Maybe you have liquidity situations where you need access to more capital. That is a role. Maybe you bought it for tax positioning. That's a role. So when your purpose is clear, you become undeniable. But they're not all one thing. They're not all one thing. Hopefully, put me in the comments, give me a thumbs up, say hello, tell me where you're from, who we got in the house today. But I just want to make sure that we understand this from the very beginning. If we could know the opportunities from the very beginning, what decisions would you make? You'll make those decisions very, very differently. Hey, we want to go ahead and tell you, make sure you decide to join our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community, because this is what millionaires and billionaires talk about. You need a community of people around you that are allowing for your mind to expand, for your mindset to grow, for you to start doing things with your tribe that make financial sense and start making smart money moves together. It's only $16 a month when you join. You can go to roncojohnson.com, or you can go to our Lifestyle Focused Wealth website and join just to have access. And then you'll start getting on the mailing list so you can be in certain situations and be in a room with people who are already taking advantage of what millionaires and billionaires do. All right? Make sure you do that. Make sure you do that. So we're flowing through this thing pretty quickly today. I want to share with you the pain point number 3. Every week that we talk here, we like to share our pain points. I think pain points are important simply because we all go through them. And if we all go through them, I think it only makes sense to share them. Because when I'm doing my live shows, let's share a secret with you beforehand. Most of the time when I'm speaking, most of the time they want to know what you did right. How did you make this money? Or how did you become so successful? And all these different things. But the truth is, if you want to know the real secret sauce to any multimillionaire that you might learn or meet or shake hands with, ask them, where did they fail? How many times did they fail? And they'll tell you. They'll tell you the answer. And usually the answer that they give you was the ingredients that turned everything around. But they were persistent. They kept going. And eventually they got it right. The real thing is you have more losses than you do wins. It's just that everybody looks for the win. Does that make sense? If that's making sense to you, give me a thumbs up in the chat, okay? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. So point number 3. Today we're going to talk about people and I love people. I just want to make sure I say that, okay? I do. I love all of you. But the average person doesn't know how to use wealth systems. They don't know how to use these financial tools, these insurance products. I was talking to an entrepreneur the other day, and he was telling me that he needed capital, but he didn't want to be in the danger of debt. I need capital, but I don't want no debt. That's what he's telling me. Well, he didn't understand that experts use structured policies for safe, flexible liquidity. I mean, once we had this conversation, it was eye-opening to him. And it went something like this. What if you could have access to capital without fear? Number one, you didn't have to worry about someone taking it from you. You didn't have to worry about penalties. You didn't have to worry about any risk to your future financial situation. How would that make you feel? How would that make you feel? Put that in the comments. How would that make you feel? Absolutely great, right? Absolutely great. Well, here's a way that I can tell you to think about it. If you can use strategic liquidation strategies to create your personal capital reserve, what would it do for you? It would stabilize your business. It will protect your household, right? If you knew how that's working for you, it creates opportunities without risk. And what I mean by that is your money is still growing without you having to leave it there and not have access to it. You don't have to do that. Some of these policies, when it's structured the right way, the liquidity is the leverage. Being able to use it, take loans against it, and use those loans to leverage and buy real estate, buy business opportunities, make moves, power moves that you need. The leverage is the power. It's not waiting until someone dies. That's not what it is. However, that's a tremendous benefit in itself when the lights go out. Are you ready for that? Right? That's all we want to know is, are we ready for that? I see some of you in the chat, and I want to make sure that we are all here together, right? So, hello to everybody in the chat. Hello, hello, hello. I see hey, Donna, what's going on? I see you out there. Good old sunny Milwaukee, huh? I don't know. I got some new people in the chat today. They're asking me about games. I don't know nothing about those games. I have no idea. So we will just go from there. For those of you who are serious about your money, this makes perfect sense, right? I don't know nothing about games. Isn't that time to play games? That's probably part of the problem. We're all out there really wanting to play games. And while you're playing games, your pocket is showing the games you're playing. It's called the empty pocket game. We need to stop focusing so much on playing games. When you're actually in a room where people are real people and they're trying to get information that is going to motivate them, move with them, I will share with you. This is a live. If you're not in this live space for the right purpose, right reason, please do me a favor. Exit the door. Exit. No one's here to play games. We're not watching The Simpsons. What are we talking about here? All right? Keep focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. All right? Here's where we are. Point number 4. And if y'all can see, every once in a while, that's the one thing about being live. You always have some disruptor that wants to disrupt you in a different kind of way, just to see if you're alive. Well, I'm live, and I'm answering your question. That's ridiculous. But I digress. For those of you who are really here that want something to learn about, let's talk about what people don't know when it comes to building smart, tax-smart wealth systems. Let's talk about that. Because people don't know how to build tax-smart wealth systems. That's not something we're taught. But we know how to play a video game. A young person that I was talking to, a very young couple that I was talking to after one of our seminars, one of our group sessions, they said to me they're trying to save, but taxes are eating them alive. They've done a good job of got the great career, got the degrees, they got great social connections and community, but they didn't understand marginal tax brackets. They didn't understand structure of the corporations and their LLCs and why those things matter. They focused on earning more. When someone like myself, we focus on you keeping more. So the turning point of that question was very simple when we asked the what if question. I call it the what if positive. Our what if positive question was, what if your savings grew in a way that was tax advantaged, that was protected, and that we could position you for long-term growth? What would that do for you? What would the outcome come from that? What would be the most positive outcome that could come from that? I'll wait. Put it in the chat. For those of you who are really real about wanting to further your development financially rather than me answering questions about people watching video games? Put it in the chat. What would come from it if you knew that this was tax advantage? What would happen if you knew your money was protected and it was in a position for long-term growth? Every dollar that you used, that you absolutely knew the answer to it. Hey, Leela, I see you. I see you out there. Thank you for joining us. One of our real people out there says taxes will keep your pocket empty. Yes, it can if you don't plan for it properly. You can. You absolutely can. It sure can. Who else we got? Good day, good day, good day, good day. Your financial future will be secure. Okay. Those are good questions, good answers, good answers. I'm letting them all come in. But here's the pathway. If you could use tax advantage positioning to protect your gains and maximize the growth, I promise you, tax strategies isn't optional. It's foundational. It becomes the foundation of what you're doing. When you start having strategy sessions, you realize, how in the world was I able to make that choice without the proper strategy? If you sit down and you have these conversations, if you're not a cook, you probably don't want to make a cake without directions. The directions and the ingredients, that's the strategy. You don't just buy a cake. For those who don't want to cook, you buy a cake. But somebody had to use a strategy to create the cake. It's not the product, it's the strategy. The strategy always become before the product. Hopefully I'm making sense to y'all out there today. All right. So when we return, we're going to take a small break. And when we return, we're going to talk about number 5 and why people don't have a system that connects all their tools together. And you're going to think about why your systems seemingly may not be working together. So we'll talk about that when we return. Hey, join our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community. Membership starting at $16 a month when you pay the annual subscription. So register online today at www.lifestylefocusedwealth.com. At L.R. Johnson & Associates, Inc., life insurance was never designed just for when you die. It was designed to protect the life you're building while you're alive. Using our lifestyle-focused designs. At L.R. Johnson & Associates, Inc., life insurance was never designed just for when you die. It was designed to protect the life you're building while you're alive. Using our lifestyle-focused design strategies, we know real wealth is not just about numbers on a statement. It's about having more time and freedom for meaningful experiences with your family, business, and legacy. That is the heart of lifestyle-focused wealth philosophy. Designing your money around how you actually want to live, who you want to protect, and what you want to leave behind. When lights out moments happen in life, your family should not be forced to struggle, sell assets, start over, or sacrifice the future you worked so hard to create. The wealthy understand this. They do not look at life insurance as just another bill. They look at it as a family banking strategy, a tool for protection, a tool for leverage, a tool for preserving wealth and positioning the next generation to move forward with strength. Because you work too hard to leave your income, your family, and your future exposed to chance. Life insurance, when structured the right way, becomes more than a policy. It becomes love in action. It becomes leadership. It becomes a promise that the people who depend on you will be protected no matter what. This is about taking control today so tomorrow is not left uncertain. Protect your income. Protect your family. Protect your future. Because life insurance is not just about a policy. It is about the lifestyle you protect and the legacy you leave. Follow L.R. Johnson and Associates, Inc., licensed insurance professionals, for more lifestyle-focused wealth strategies. Contact our office to schedule a one-on-one session with our financial professionals today. Hey, I'm Ronco Johnson, lifestyle-focused wealth coach. How are you today? Hey, we've been talking about how experts build generational wealth and use these power moves and these power products in ways that most people never see. And I just want to be here today to share them with you, and hopefully we're helping you get there, right? We're hoping you get there. And these are some of these moves that we're talking about. So some of the takeaways I'm seeing in the group today, I'm seeing, hey, wealth growth and legacy building. That's what Financial Futures are all about. And I think we got Leela out there. What's she saying there? Y'all, I need to get me some glasses, I promise you. Financial strategies are so fundamental to your financial future and portfolio. Thank you so much, Leela, for putting that out there. And I look at Donna again. Yes, you're making perfect sense. Thank you. Thank you for making perfect sense. I hope so. As we say on our live, thank you so much, y'all. Listen, just yesterday, I want to share with you before I get into number 5. Yesterday, I went to dinner, and I had dinner with some amazing folks, clients that I've had for almost, it varied between 22 to 25 years to the last 10 years. I think 10 years was the youngest. That was the baby. I had a client take me out to dinner, and it was interesting. When we talk about energy and cash flow and currency and all these different things, I want to make sure that I'm including this. It's not just all about money. Currency can be the energy that you attract to yourself. Whether that's positive or negative, you're still attracting currency. If you go against the current, it's going uphill. If you think about a river coming downhill, you want to be flowing with the river. You don't want to be swimming uphill. Our goal here at Lifestyle Focused Wealth is to make sure we're all swimming in the same direction. And we want to create positive currents and overcome all the negative, all the noise, blocking all the noise. And that's what this is all about. But while I was sitting at dinner, 2 more of my clients showed up. But they weren't there for me. They were there celebrating a birthday. I kindly asked them, hey, would you want to join us? So now the tables, instead of it just being me and one other person, now there's 4 of us at the table. All of them different clients of L.R. Johnson and Associates, and then of mine and friends of mine joining. The most beautiful thing was sitting back and just taking a moment to enjoy the journey and not so much the destination of where we had to get to. Conversations went from left to right. Conversations went from professions to what they do and where they've gone. And you start to learn that people are much more sophisticated in their own right with their own story. Man, that was amazing just for me to be there in the room and just witness all the connection. But I understood that I was the one person that everybody had in common. Check that in your friend group. Check that in your family. By the end of our dinner, I got a call, and then another client of mine was coming into town. He drove up from near Florida, down in Brunswick, Georgia. He joined the conversation. I asked him just to come by the restaurant. I'm at a restaurant that I've never been at. Before you come out to the office, go there. He joins us. Now there's a table of 5. And he tells his story about his family, his upbringing, his strategies. It became an all-out mastermind over dinner, lunch, birthdays, whatever you want to call it. And then the owners of the restaurant started to chime in. Energy. Focus on your positive energy. Because what if you have a positive attitude and everybody around you recognizes it? What possible good could come from that? Well, most people want to be around something positive, and it just overshadows anything that's negative. Shortly after that, I went to the car, and I'm on my way to the next meeting, and I got the phone call. That I had lost a family member. This happened just yesterday. This is real life. See, when we're playing around with things and issues, we're wasting time. Time is the only thing you have. It's the most valuable currency that you got. Noticing that we had lost this family member, it immediately took me back to the restaurant where I had just told everyone how much I cared about them, how much value they've brought to my life, and how I'm so appreciative to be a part of theirs. The woman that brought me to dinner first, she was bringing me to dinner because she said to me, Ronco, I have never taken you to dinner. I've never taken you to lunch. And I don't think I've ever properly said thank you for all the years of what you helped me understand my finances. And because of that, I'm able to be in position to help people. To me, that was powerful. Knowing that one of my senior clients felt this way about me. Sometimes we don't get the chance to hear it. Sometimes you won't see it. It might be 15 years on down the road. But I'll promise you this. You keep the strategies going. You keep consistent. People are watching. They will see if you change. They will see if the information that you've talked about works. Some people will buy it. Some people won't. The ones that do, you will see them change. And this is what we're looking for. We're looking for the transformation in your life that matters, and how your legacy will be seen with that transformation, if that makes sense. So part of our lifestyle focus, what mantra is, we want to make sure you're focusing on your legacy before your lifetime. Just like this episode today, we want you to focus on the strategies before you focus on products. And I want to make sure you get that. So as we're talking about our number 5 reason today, I want you to remember something. The strategy is the most important piece. It goes way beyond just the product that you purchase. So why is it our number 5 promise of today, PowerPoints, and these points that people have pain about, right? If you knew that there was a system, wouldn't you want to connect everything to your tool? I have to say that a little differently, because in the world of AI, everybody knows ChatGPT. Everybody knows Copilot. Everybody knows Gemini and Claude. But those things don't work very well without connecting the dots. Most people are still using the one product, the one system. They're not using all the things that connect to it. If you could learn to connect all these systems, you'll find that you will have an overall system that works much better. Is that making sense? For those of you who are AI certified consultants that are listening in today. So have you heard the story? I have pieces, but no picture. You know, when I was talking about our wealth systems last week, we were talking about having pieces, but you had no picture for your puzzle. So what if all your financial products were to work together in one unified system? How would that picture develop? What would it look like? And with our integrated wealth systems that we're talking about and doing wealth integration strategies, everything connects. Your integration creates stability. I've always said this, your stability creates significance. And then that significance creates your legacy, right? Hopefully, when you break that down, you see its value. You see its value. Its value is sharpened in the fact that you're building a life of significance by making sure the decisions that you make are smart financial ones, so you can have a longer, more happier, more effective lifestyle, a freedom, doing what you want to do when you want to do it. That's really what our mission here is and our goal is. That's really what we all want. Would you agree with me on that? If you agree with me with that, give me a thumbs up. Say yes. Say yes in the comments or in the chat. Either way. So I want to just go ahead and thank you guys in advance, because today's conversation, somebody out there really needs it. And because of you and your participation today, somebody is going to be able to put their systems together. And I'm glad that we could be a conduit for that. Just like having their dinner and everybody coming to the table with something of substance so that we can all eat. Does that make sense? If that makes sense to you, I want to summarize our conversation like this. If I put all 5 strategies into one flow, all 5 into one flow, right? It's a powerful situation. I want you to imagine your cash flow being mapped out. I want you to think about your protection that has purpose in your life. I want you to think about your liquid cash flow that you have access to, but it was strategically placed so that it continued to earn and you can have access to it. Your wealth strategy isn't the tax, it is the tax advantage placement of what you do with your money, right? Your wealth is tax advantaged, and you wouldn't know that. Your entire financial life is integrated into one system. What if this were to happen? That's how life insurance strategists build generational power. Most people never see it. Why? Because that's how we build a life of clarity, confidence, and control. I call it the 3 C's: clarity, confidence, and control. When we're designing, we're making sure that, one, you, the client, have clarity about why we're using these systems so that you can be confident about your decision, and then you have control of how you build your legacy. Does that make sense? So in our close today, I just want to say thank you guys so much for just hanging out with us and coming back every Friday right here at 1 o'clock. I wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. All you cousins out there that are coming in and hanging in and giving us calls afterwards, thank you so much for joining our live. And I want you to remember this. I want you to think strategy before products. And always remember to think about your legacy before your lifetime. Hey, I'm Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. This is When the Lights Go Out. Are you ready? I look forward to seeing you at the top, and every Friday right here, join me 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time so we can have more fun and we can have more conversations about how millionaires and billionaires build their wealth so that you can become one too. Hey, that's my time. I look forward to seeing you next time right here. And have a great weekend. Be safe. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.